This is the second in CalNonprofits series of videos on advocacy tips for nonprofits, what to do and what to avoid in meetings with legislative staff.
Great. So let's say I'm going to do a 15-minute meeting with you. And let's say it's a meet and greet because it's the first time we're meeting. What information do you need?
Yeah, so the best information is going to be any information that is specific to my member's district. So if you can say, this is where I'm located, I'm on X street on this street in your member's district, here are the services that we provide to your constituency. If we can have like handouts or something that we can get electronically that has the resources that they can provide or information that they have. It's always helpful to have those on hand. So if another person calls our office that is in need of certain resources, we now have it on hand and we can connect them to the appropriate people in our district. A lot of the times, I think specifically with nonprofits, like we want to have relationships with everyone who's doing all this great work in our district. So please reach out to us.
And then if we're not in the assembly member's district, we would still want to talk about how the issue is relevant to your district and why your boss would want to take an interest in it.
Exactly.
Okay, that's really good to know. So are there some tips on what not to do? I'm sure you've had some run-ins with things that haven't been helpful.
Yeah, I think I mean, obviously meet and greets are important. And like you said, even if they're not in our district, as long as the information is relevant to my member, it makes sense. Sometimes we'll get meeting requests from folks who are from a totally different part of California whose issues are not necessarily the same as like Napa is not the same as Compton or so a lot of the times those issues are totally separate. Not that you shouldn't have that meeting, but that it might not be a priority at that time because of that issue. Another thing that we probably don't like is when we don't know where my boss is on a certain issue and they get upset because we're not giving them the answer that they want to hear. A lot of the times we don't know because we're just learning of this information now. So we then have to take that information to my boss and see how he feels about that certain issue. So we're not always going to be like, oh yeah, my boss is great on this or he's not. It's let me get more information, and getting upset really isn't helpful for anybody.
That's really great information. So to do your homework and know what issues the legislator you're talking with or the staff that you're talking with, what they really care about. So do your homework and don't expect necessarily to hear back right away in that meeting that you are a staff person and you're going to need to communicate with the legislator to find out what she or he is thinking about the issue.
Right.
And get
But
back.
please feel free to follow up though.
Yeah, I like that idea. So to see it as really the start of a relationship and you're sharing some information in that first meeting, but it can be just the beginning of an ongoing connection around a particular issue.
Right.
Yeah. Great. Okay. Well, anything else that you'd like to make sure that people know in engaging you as a staff person?
Yeah, I would say don't get discouraged if you don't hear back from us after emailing us. Also, don't feel like you're bothering us by following up. Sometimes because of COVID, everything's electronic. The only way people can get in contact with me right now is through email. So if you have to follow up like, hey, just checking in on this meeting request, don't feel bad about doing that. I encourage doing that because sometimes we'll open it and forget about it. So that's probably a tip I want to make sure that everybody knows.
Great. So persistence is a good thing and always to be polite and friendly, but persistence is okay. Okay, great. Well, thank you so much. This is a great start. And I look forward to the opportunities to work with you and the assembly member going forward. Thanks so much for your time, Esthela.
No problem. Thank you, Lucy.